Hey there, it's David H. Lawrence the 17th, and we're going to do two more of these AMA asked and answered questions for the Ask Me Anything series. This is number 5. We're going to do one more, number 6, and then we'll get back to the single subject things. But before I get started with today's video, I want to tell you that the other night I had a little bit of a medical scare, and Betsy, thank God she was here, she had to call 911. And I can only say that I was feeling fine, and then all of a sudden I felt awful. I felt sweaty and really tired, and just clammy, and I couldn't actually speak very well. And she asked me, "Do you want me to call 911 or do you want to go to the hospital? Because we're going to do one or the other." And thankfully, she called 911. I got to tell you, there's really nothing like 6 burly firemen in your bedroom when you're in your underwear ready to go to bed, getting blood all over the bed. Here's the little wound, a little puncture wound where they put in an IV. So what happened was something that I wanted to warn you about. Your medicines and the way you take them are just as important as the medicines that you take, meaning what schedule, what dosage. What happened was I had taken my insulin a little bit earlier in the evening so that I had my evening free to do some things. It was a Friday night. And I forgot. I forgot I had taken my insulin. So I took it again. And what happened made me feel even worse than when I had high blood sugar, because I plummeted into really low blood sugar. When they came at 1 in the morning, they tried to measure my blood sugar, and it was lower than their glucometer would go. So they figured out what was going on. Betsy didn't know if I was having a heart attack or what was going on, and thank God she was here, because I could have gotten into a coma. I wouldn't have been able to get downstairs. I live in a 2-story condo, and I wouldn't have been able to get downstairs to let them in. I'm sure they would have broken down the door at some point, but who needs that expense, right? So they said, hey, he should get some complex carbohydrates to build his sugar up, not too quickly, but, and so for the first time in months, I had a sandwich from Jack in the Box with some cheddar fries, and oh, it was so delicious. And then I was right back onto the salads the next day. So I'm fine. Everything's great. My warning to you is, please be careful. Please make sure that you take your medications, if you take it at all, if you take medications at all, that you take them the way they've been prescribed. Don't let that be something that's like sloppy. I'm actually getting a jewelry divider so that it actually has 7 little troughs in it, so that I can put my insulin pen in the next day's trough. So I've completely become my grandfather, just so you know. All right, so here are today's questions. David, when you do voiceover and you get no feedback, how can you gain knowledge unless you create your own? And I think this is a response to when I talked about not really worrying if a client gives you feedback or asking for feedback from a casting director. And the point is, you have to consider the source that you're seeking this feedback from. When you say creating your own information, oh, I got to get that information from the person that might hire me or the person that might cast me. They are not in a role to give you feedback. They have a different job. They need to get advertising created so that their business is profitable, or they're being paid to cast somebody to do that sort of work, to help somebody do that. They're not, neither one of them, neither a potential client nor a casting director, should be asked to do the job of giving you feedback on your acting. That's just not their role. A coach, a teacher, even a fellow actor is a better choice than a casting director or a client. Now, could they give you that feedback? Sure. But is that better than nothing? I don't think so. Because a casting director who is smart will only say, you know what, you were great, we just went in a different direction. Or words to that effect. Because Who wants to insult somebody? Who wants to say you weren't good enough? You weren't tall enough. You weren't fat enough. You weren't thin enough. You weren't young enough. You weren't old enough. You looked like the director's ex-wife. Who knows? And people that are actual clients, the advertisers, they're even further removed from the idea of making you a better performer. So I would seek feedback from people who know what they're talking about, first and foremost, and for whom that is their job. So I hope that helps. Somebody said regarding the very short and succinct response I gave to voices.com, not engaging them in being one of their coaches that they recommend. I look up to you as a master of healthy, efficient assertiveness in business dealings and have learned so much from you. What stopped you from saying something more directly to the point of why you wouldn't want to partner with them, like, I would never work with your company because I disapprove of the business model, etc.? Real simple. It wasn't necessary, in my opinion. It would have fallen on deaf ears. If they don't know by now that they have a bad reputation, my bringing it to their attention isn't going to change their mind. They do know. And they disagree, clearly. They have their own way of doing things, and that's that. I just wanted to be clear, and I wanted to be brief, and I didn't want to go into a sermon. I didn't want to, shame them. I feel like there was some shame involved in even sharing the story. And I certainly don't want to make anybody feel bad, but at the same time, I want to be clear about my intentions. And so I have no illusions that were I to have gone into a further explanation, that it would have made one bit of difference. I went into that explanation with you, but going into that explanation with them in their email, all they needed to hear from me was an answer to their question, would you like to? And the answer was no, I don't, nor are any of my coaches available. Now, I did say to my coaches, if you want to go ahead and do it, it's, individually, it's up to you, but just not as a representative of VO2GoGo. So anyway. And then finally, question, I always wonder if I don't answer my phone. We talked about robocalls and 400 billion robocalls in the last 2 months. 400 billion. Imagine all those people picking up the phone or seeing the phone. I wonder if I don't answer and it goes to my voicemail, is that another way that they know I'm a live person? I had done a video called the robocall equivalent of unsubscribe, where if you pick up the phone, they mark you as live and then resell your number to somebody as a live number, a verified live number. So if it goes to voicemail, they might, but they usually don't mark you as active or live. They just mark you as a working number. They want to know that when they call, they'll get a live person, because that's when they can engage in a conversation. That's when they can use social engineering to get you to be concerned or guilty or intrigued or fooled. That's the most valuable target for robocallers, is live calls being answered. So letting it go to voicemail is great, because you're going to let it go to voicemail next time too. So they could mark you and sell you, but if you don't recognize the number, you're still not going to answer the phone. So anyway, there you go. All right. So tomorrow, last session. And if you've got any comments on the answers that I've been giving, please, put them in the comments below this video. If you're watching on VO2GoGo, I hope you are. Tomorrow, we'll do the 6th and last round, and then maybe I'll do it again when I get closer to 200 videos in this 365-day, one video a day challenge. If you want to be on my VO2GoGo subscriber list and join my subscription over on YouTube, well, go ahead and click on my head there. You can subscribe there, or look for a subscribe button somewhere below this video. If you want to see the latest video that I've done, go ahead and click on that frame, and YouTube will play it for you. I'm David H. Lawrence, the 17th. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you tomorrow.